right, good afternoon and welcome to 802 Scoop, live from the 802 Scoop studio here on North Main Street in Barrie. This afternoon I have a very special guest with me, Bonnie J.P. Allen, who is the managing director of the Veterans Place, who, if most don't know by now, is something that's very near and dear to my heart. And I very much will promote anything and everything they are doing always. And I hope that all of you will join me in that same sentiment, and because they've got a lot going on, and there's always needs, and not just monetary support, volunteer, all kinds of different things that we can do to help the Veterans Place over in Northfield, even the meal train, which is a great thing. But I know you have a lot of stuff going on over there. We're getting into the summer months where people don't mind kind of doing benefits and fundraisers and different things like that. It's a little warmer out, so we're good about that. But I'll send it over to you so you can introduce yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Welcome.
Why, thank you for having me. So my name is Bonnie, as Raylene introduced me. I am the active managing director. I took over as of January 1st. Prior to that, I was the case manager at the Veterans Place for the prior 18 months. And my passion is helping veterans who are really underserved on so many levels. The case manager, I'm doing that job now too, because we're down staff. So the case manager is a one-on-one with veterans, and I get to really see the impact of my passion and my work directly. And then the director is the bigger scheme. It's the podcasts, it's the newspapers, the magazines, the outreach, how far can I get our name out there? What can I say? Who can I talk to? What can I say? What can I ask for?
The nuts and bolts.
All of it. So I have my arms can reach far and wide, but then they also can hold very close to what's really important, the mission. Yep. And that's serving one veteran at a time.
So you started out in casework, and has that been something that you've always done in your career life, is casework?
No.
Or no?
No. So I worked a multitude of jobs. I went back to nursing school at 44.
Good for you.
To Norwich, yep. And opted not to get my license. And work in advocacy. Like, being an advocate has always been huge. Yeah. I worked at the VA on the nursing floor for a while. And I love bedside nursing, but I knew there was something bigger out there for me. And advocating, I just become so passionate about it. And, these guys get told no, and they come in and, they said I can't, and I said, oh, okay. Well, then let me try. Can I try? And they're like, sure. And I try, and it's sad because I'm a complete stranger not to the VA system. They know me at the VA, but to this veteran's life. And I'll call and say, I need this. And they'll be like, oh, okay. And this veteran could have gone months trying
to do the same thing.
Try to do the same thing, but I make a phone call or I show up, and they're like, yep, whatever you need. So it's a phone call for me, and I just don't back down. I've been called a bulldog, which is fine. I've been called rough around the edges. I've been called
me too,
straight up.
Yeah. Because
I just tell them like it is, and but with so much love, for these guys. And I'm very consistent and very tough love. They have the military structure, so when they come to us from the street where there's no structure, right? Then they come to us where there's a lot of structure. And I was fortunate enough as a case manager to start to build that in more when Karen, the retiring director, was there, she allowed me to do that. And I've just followed that right straight through. And so not everybody succeeds. The ones that want it do. But so now this is my forever, like I'll retire from
Right,
here, I think.
right. This is your thing. This is your heart.
It is. It absolutely is.
So when we talk about the Veterans Place and what you do, let's make sure that we explain and people understand that the Veterans Place is far more than just a roof over a veteran's head. What is provided there is a big deal.
We are, yeah. It's so much more for staff but more for these veterans. I'm not sure who gets the most benefit out of it, the staff or the veterans. Okay. So in the 18 beds that we have, we provide, some of these guys come with no a garbage bag of clothes, some come with just what they're wearing. So we provide their clothing, their toiletries, their linens, sheets, pillows, blankets, all their food, the laundry access, rides to the VA, support, a hug, discipline, if you will. That's the structure. All at no cost to them. So we rely on, the community support out there. There's so much. We give them so much, and it's not enough. It's not enough for what they've given to the country to defend my liberties, my freedoms. And so I give whatever I possibly can. And I find, and that follows the legacy that Karen built. I try to follow in her footsteps, making the program as a director different, but also the same. The mission is the same. I just deliver it differently. So.
And we know that some, maybe we could even say the majority, will need help, other services with substance use disorder and other things. And those are programs and things that the Veterans Place, case management, oversees. And you make sure that when you talk about advocacy, that they know where those programs are and how to get help, and you help facilitate all of that as well. It's not, it's really a big blanket is what you are. You wrap them up in a big blanket and you say, we're going to care for you this time for a little bit and let's get you going.
Correct. And we're not clinical at all, but we do give them the resources, everything. If they're VA eligible, they go to the VA. We make sure they get connected with their mental health. We make sure they get connected with their medical health. Some just need a doctor to say, yeah, you're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. Or some need a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a therapist, a specialty clinic. Some need the recovery centers. Some need, psychiatric care. There's just a range of it, and we make sure that we give them that support to say this is available. Some don't want it. They're afraid to take it because there's so much stigma around mental health and needing help, big men, right? Because that's what we serve as male veterans. But 18 men, I work in a house where they're the most sensitive men you will ever meet, and grateful for everything, an envelope, a pen, a paper, a stamp.
I've met many, and that's how they've always been. They're just amazing.
Yeah, very grateful. And, I've had many when I say I care. So I tell them I'm there for them and because of them. And because of them, because they served in our military. And because of them, and for them, because I will do whatever I can. And I got their six. Like, I'll back them up. That's a military phrase they often use. 100%, as long as they don't lie to me, because I can't defend them and I can't help them if they're not being honest with me. And I find that that just opens the door, and then you get puddles of guys who are like, when you say, I really care about you, it brings tears, and it brings a whole different side to these really angry men who have seen and done, you know, things
Unthinkable.
that,
Yeah.
oh, unthinkable
Stuff that-
actions.
yeah. Yeah. And so when we talk about that, we talk about them opening to you and coming to you, this is also, these are stepping stones that you're giving them the whole time so that they can transition. This isn't a lifelong home for
No.
the veterans. This is something that you all want to give them opportunities and strength. That's what they build when they're there. And so they can get on their feet and get their own apartment and and you all help so much with all of that as well, which is truly amazing. A lot of times programs don't last very long, 14, 21 days, 30 days, 60 days. And they can certainly go beyond that at the Veterans Place if they need to, but it is clear that it's a stepping stone. You want to help them rebuild themselves.
Correct. So our program is not a one-size-fits-all. And the minimum stay for somebody who's really working the program, if they've been an addict for 15 years and they come to us and they say, I'm tired of it, I need to change, then they have to change their thinking and their ways. So most of them are there 6 months, then they start to get the itch of maybe I'm ready to go. But that's scary, right? Because they've lived on the streets for a long time and they're comfortable, and we have great food and laughter and camaraderie, and the staff is a small little family all on its own. So they're 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. By the time 12 months comes, which is really pushing the end, they're ready to go. And when they're ready to go, we provide them with deposits, furniture, groceries.
Yeah.
We take them to look at the apartment, we take them shopping, we give them the skills
Yeah.
to be able to do it on their own when they didn't think that they could be independent.
Yeah. Not that long ago, I think it was maybe a year and a half ago now, you had a gentleman that was looking to transition out, and we kind of got the community together to get some things, some added needs that you all didn't have in your shed full of stuff, which you definitely have a lot of stuff, but there was just, there's things that you don't think of that they may need. And I remember one of the things that I got was a toolbox with just a hammer and little nails to hang pictures and, a wrench and a few things like that in this toolbox, because I know that I've gotten places before an apartment and it would be great to hang this up or to, maybe put a new toilet seat on or something. And you don't have those things. It's the little incidentals that we don't think of day to day. A can opener that we don't necessarily think of as, we think of the couch and the bed and the big things, but it's the little things that make a home and make it what's comfortable for them. And so the stuff that you all do and the fact that the community is willing to rally around is amazing. It would be more amazing if the community was a lot more involved than what they are, because some people don't even know that you're all up there. I've been shocked to meet people that don't know you're all up there. And now, because I thought that we were talking about it way more, but 100% honest, 4 years ago, I did not know that the Veterans Place was in Northfield.
Even existed.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
We're there. It'll be 16 years this year, and again, like you, I'm still surprised. I can walk in, somebody say, "Oh, well, what do you do?" And I'll tell them, they'll be like, "Where's that?" Northfield is such a tiny little town, and it's known for Norwich, which is a great community in itself. The cadets volunteer in our program, but our reach, my goal is to touch all four corners of Vermont, because we're not there. And we get veterans from all over the United States. We have a veteran in our program from California. We have 2 from Alabama. We have 1 from Michigan, I think. So they're coming west to Vermont,
Yeah.
and our reach is far and wide because people are hearing about our VA, and then they get to our VA homeless, and they're like, oh, but here's this program that will help you. So you're right. The awareness is not. It's not what I'd like it to be.
Yeah, it's not out there.
No, it really isn't out there.
And
the
we
community,
we need to change that. We
yeah,
need to make
absolutely.
Sure.
And the community that does hear us, you know, you can only tap into the same resources so many times.
Right.
So asking, and that's my goal, is to make the awareness bigger. So we have events coming up we have one coming up in June in St. Albans. We're going to be at 14th Star to do something called Buckles and Belts, Buckles and Boots, Buckles and Boots. And it's a cowboy themed dance, like
Nice.
country music and all that, with a silent auction. But St. Albans is an hour north.
Yeah.
And 14 Star is a veteran-owned business by a Norwich graduate. So, you know, that's kind of all just rolled into one nice little package. And their event planner is helping us put this event together. So we're really excited about that. I don't know what that's going to bring for us, but if it brings us $50, then great. It's more about the awareness,
Right,
and
the
for
word of
people to
mouth.
say, I had no idea you even existed. And sometimes there's that one person that stands in the crowd that won't buy a ticket, that won't do anything, but has really deep pockets and says, I want to do for your program. How can I help you more? You know,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where we're at, is hoping that communities where we get veterans from,
Right.
you know, can
And
help us.
that, I mean, this brings me back to where I was before, that the support that you need isn't, not everybody can give money, and we all understand that.
Yeah.
That just can't happen. But your time, being willing to, if you're down here at the concerts in the park in Barrie during the summertime, being willing to take some brochures and hand them out while you're there, or you know, so that there's a little bit of information. Share this show, share this podcast. Keep track of the Veterans Place Facebook page, website.
Sure. And so
share
we're on
it.
Instagram now.
Oh, and Instagram
We just
too.
opened Instagram.
And
Yep,
so,
brand
yeah,
new.
and share it. Share the Venmo on your site and on one of your social media platforms.
Yep.
And you can do a whole lot just by shouting out, just by making that connection for someone else. Just like it was given to me. That connection was given to me.
Right.
I knew nothing about it before, and now it's a really big deal to me, and it's a big deal that I feel like you're over there in the corner, the little corner in Northfield,
Sure.
and that not enough people know. And so I really hope that we can help change that, and I hope that our viewers will, and your followers will, that they'll really understand that literally just spreading the word is going to make a huge difference.
Yeah. And if people want to volunteer, you know, we always get that, like, what can we do to help volunteer? You know, volunteer looks like a lot of things, but when we have events, like we have a bottle drive coming up, and we have locations, and sometimes it means just standing there helping load the trailers,
Yep.
or, you know, learning about our program and talking about it to people.
Yep.
I mean, that's really the biggest volunteerism anybody could do, is learn about our program and find out how you can spread the word far and wide. Because without people talking about us, people don't know about us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I helped with the bottle drive last year. It was great fun. I went with Teresa and Candy and Sheila. Were all there last year.
In Barrie.
In Barrie, the one
Yeah.
at Domino's, in front of Domino's.
Yep.
That was a great time. And I mean, you have, I helped with the Calcutta over at Gusto's,
Yep.
things like that. But outside of those things, you also have the meal train for
We
the
have the meal
weekends.
train, and it's been pretty dormant actually. I'm not sure who, to be honest, who's in charge of that. That was way before me, even before I was the case manager. The guys, so we have a chef who cooks Monday through Friday, and then breakfast and lunch, they have access to their own food. Well, they have access 24 hours a day anyway, but the weekends they're to fend for themselves. Either they eat the leftovers or they have to cook. And every once in a while, you get a vet who loves to cook, and he'll cook for the entire house all weekend. And we have one right now who does that. So the meal train's not a miss. But when we have guys who have zero clue how to cook or don't want to cook, that's when the meal train is needed. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
times. Peanut butter and jelly is always great, but how much of that can you really?
Right. It's nice to have a hot meal.
Yeah.
Or yeah, something nice. I know that there was some stuff done for barbecue, and
Yep.
I had the taco truck go there one weekend.
Yep.
The guys loved that, and you know, it's a big deal.
It's a huge deal to them that somebody thinks about them because again, we're tucked away in a tiny little place off the side road, and unless you know we're there, you don't know we're there because we're just a house like
Yeah.
everybody else on the street. So yeah, it's the little things that really make the biggest impact to them, to know that people still do care. Not that they're an addict, not that they're, you know, a combat vet that's struggling with PTSD. What got them to our house matters to them. What happens on the other side is what matters to us. And that's what I tell them. Their journey is theirs, but it doesn't impact how we treat them, you know, because addiction, PTSD, alcoholism, homelessness, those are all the barriers that these guys deal with every single day.
Right.
Yeah.
There are pieces to one big puzzle. We're all a
Huge.
big puzzle, and so it's just a matter of finding those pieces and getting them put back together again for these guys. And
Yep, one day at a time.
and just meeting them is, if you don't walk out of there smiling and like feel, I don't even know how to express how you feel. I don't even know how to express it.
Well, if you
It's
don't feel
just
humbled coming out of there.
gratitude and humble, and it just it really is amazing.
Every
And-
day.
yeah.
Every day I feel like that. Like when I walk in and then I leave thinking I'm so blessed to be able to hopefully make an impact. Just one person in the day. You know, and we have a tremendous staff. It's small. But every veteran will reach out to every single one of these staff. You know, we have Rebecca, who's our administrative assistant, but she does so much more. And Skylar, who's our peer support, does so much more. PR Cook, Karen's doing housing. There's just so much that we all do. And as a team, I like to think we're invincible
Yeah.
because, you know, we just pull together and help. We all have our own thing, but as a team, we have it all. So, you know, that's what makes us work.
What is the most asked for item? And I think I remember the answer to this question of the guys when they come in or just being there. I know that there's like a top thing on the Christmas list and things that kind of, or that, so I've heard that socks is always like something the guys are always saying, we need socks or we want socks.
So, well, especially when they come in the winter because, you know, being homeless, your feet need to be warm. So
Yeah.
that's a symptom of homelessness, right? Being warm. They ask for socks. Darn Tough's great. They help us out. Right now, I would say the most asked for thing, they want swag. Like the Veterans Place sweatshirts and T-shirts and things like that. So we try to do that this year for Green Up Day. We're going to do T-shirts, but there's a kicker. You have to participate to get one.
Yes.
Like, so they have to help. And there's guys who are like, okay, just to get a T-shirt. At Christmas time, the guys in the house were gifted sweatshirts.
Yes.
And, they wear them so proudly. Everywhere they go, nobody's ashamed or afraid, because homeless doesn't look like the movies, right?
Right, exactly.
It doesn't look like
Not
the
at all.
movies.
No.
It looks like the plain guy walking down the street. And so it's a nice way for them to bring awareness when they wear it. But people don't know that guy is homeless. They just know
Yeah.
that guy's wearing the
Veterans
Veterans Place sweatshirt.
Yeah. And I mean, that's something I would proudly wear for sure. I should have had you bring me one. I didn't know you had them.
We don't.
Oh, you don't?
We
So
have
will-
a campaign on Bonfire.
Yeah.
Where you can order. We have T-shirts, tank tops, and sweatshirts, and
So you can
pick-
purchase them.
Yep.
That would be
And
awesome.
part of the purchase price goes to the Veterans Place.
That's awesome. I got to get that link from
Sure.
you so that we can share that
Yep,
up as
absolutely.
well. Valerie Weston says there are some pretty cool people that I've met over the years that have lived there at the Veterans Place. Yeah.
It's very true. I've been there 18 months, and every single one touches your soul in some way. They just genuinely do. I have a shelf of little trinkets that I get when they leave, or here, this is for you, or and it could be something simple, like I have an origami swan.
Yeah.
It's tucked in a plant.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, but it came from somebody's heart, and it's,
Yeah, definitely. It was an intentional gift.
right. They took the time to
Yeah.
recognize the help that you gave.
Yeah,
And
just to say thank you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, which is that's awesome too. And
very much so.
so, what are your immediate needs? Let's say, do you have any at the moment where you have maybe a veteran that's transitioning, or
Right now, we're
you're-
one bed open. We're full.
One bed
Yeah,
open.
we have one bed open. We have nobody that's getting ready to transition, because they're all kind of in that, 2 days to 4 or 5 months, 6 months. We don't have any immediate needs. Our biggest goal for the year, my biggest goal, is to get a new van, because we have 2 vans, and our little van has a lot of miles. I mean, it goes to the VA 3, 4, or 5 times a week.
Yeah,
And that's
so
100
that's a
miles a day.
Yep.
So 500 miles a week. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's our goal, is to replace that. So it's raising money. I'm hoping that a car dealership out there will work with us, and we've even looked at electric vans. We're not ready to make the purchase, but we're doing all the research. That's my big goal for the year, is to get a new van and be able to make it more economical for us, because we do provide the transportation.
Yeah.
And the gas and all of that.
I actually have some family that works at different dealerships and in different levels of dealerships.
Nice.
So I'm going to be talking to them about that
That's
and
great.
see if we can get one of them to jump on board with this. I mean, how amazing would that be?
Yeah.
If you could get that done this summer, and know that going into the winter months, you weren't going to be broke down or something with a vehicle that had crazy amounts of miles
Yeah,
on it.
it's crazy amount. It's like 100 and something thousand miles, and it's
Yeah.
not that old. But 500 miles a week that's a lot
A
of
lot.
miles.
Yeah, it is a lot. So
For sure.
maintenance on that alone would
Yep.
probably scare you. So-
Tires,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Oil changes, gas, all of it. So it just makes sense to do something that's economical. But as far as immediate needs, I don't think we have anything that's immediate. I mean, we don't have anything. Our donation room is full. Clothes, maybe sweatpants,
Yeah.
shorts, things like that.
Yeah. Valerie Weston, again, she says, I see Paul often when I'm in town, would like to connect about the Girl Scouts coming in to visit again sometime.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is the people can go and visit you. They would need to reach out to you.
Correct.
The guys do love to play cards. They love
Cards,
to
games.
do things like that. And so if you are somebody that, maybe you have a skill even that you could teach them or you want to share with them or something.
Yeah.
But that's all stuff that absolutely you need and love that connection, but that has to be something that's facilitated through you for obvious reasons. We can't just have
So
company at
everybody
all
in our
hours of the
program is
night and-
protected.
Yeah.
If anybody calls asking for a particular veteran, we don't tell them because it's our job to protect them and keep them safe. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Our door's locked coming in, so people can't just walk into their home. This is their home. I have an office in their home, and that's how I look at it.
Right. You
every
ring the
day.
bell to
Yeah.
get in. Yeah.
They do that. So yeah, we're always looking for, the school comes over and they do activities, or it can be 100 different things. Spring's coming. We have yards that need to be raked. We have flower beds that need to be attended to. We have a garden. The guys want to plant a garden this year, and they're talking about like what's going to go in each box and what that looks like, and things like that. So
The school, the kids coming to do the pledge.
that'll start. I think it starts at the end of April, after April break.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, Wednesdays. I
that-
think we'll get 5 Wednesdays before school ends.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
That made me cry and cry. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know that they did that. When I saw that post, it was just, it's beautiful to know that the kids are learning and starting to understand, and that they're making those relationships and those connections. And
It's really important for kids to understand,
Yeah.
like not everybody has a home that's safe, and, it has to, I believe charity starts at home like that, and just to educate kids to know that this is what, but to allow it to happen in school, and we're
Yeah.
right next door, right? K through 12, right
Yeah.
there. So what better way to do it than
absolutely.
to have it?
Absolutely. Well, is there anything else that you can think of that we should be talking about, or we should spread the word about, or that you have going on? We know that you do have stuff coming up, and you can let me know that so we can share it far
Yeah.
and wide. And
It's it'll be on our Facebook page. We do have, so just a broad knowledge of events that we do have coming up, because it's so early in the year
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
But we have, locally, I'm going to work with Tally, the pool hall.
Yeah.
They're going to have a pool tournament
Nice.
to benefit us. That's very early in the works, so I don't know what
Okay.
that's going to look like. We have our bottle drive on Green Up Day.
Yeah.
We have Buckles and Boots in June. We have, we're having a gun. It's a gun raffle, but it's a gift certificate
Yes.
raffle from
Yeah.
Peros.
Yeah.
Next month, we're going to start selling raffle tickets. There's only 100 being sold. So you buy a ticket for, I think it's $50.
Yeah.
This is by Skylar and Pete. They organized this, which I'm so grateful. They wanted to do this, and I was like, go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
So they've arranged that. We have, what else do we have? We have the fair. We go to the Champlain Valley Fair for 10 days. And that's silent auction, 50-50 raffle. Well, the Calcutta is in October.
Right.
We have,
And you have a couple of young, I think, or at least one, I think, young woman that does a bake sale. You have some people in the community that also
we have a
do
young
some
woman in
things, and then-
Chelsea who does a car wash.
Yeah, yeah.
We had Norwich students this year did this big fundraiser on campus. They sold cookies,
Yeah.
$1,300 worth of cookies
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
in 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So, fundraising looks like a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and just
However it works, right? Yeah.
most definitely whatever
awesome.
whatever it looks like.
And it really takes a village, and so we're like calling on ours right now to
All
say,
hands on deck.
this is super important,
Yeah.
and for many reasons, and even maybe in the future for you all to expand and make the location that you have now a little bit bigger, a little bit more modern, a little,
That's in the works. That's a huge
right.
project.
That's a
but,
huge
yeah.
project, but you'll get there eventually with the help of all of us, even if it's just, I mean, even in the interim, if somebody's willing to donate, say, I'll donate all the paint for the inside. If the guys do the work, I'll donate the
Right.
paint. It's amazing how little things like that make such a huge difference in a
Yes.
space and so quickly. And but no matter what you do, it's going to take all of us. It's going to take your village to keep you going because, as you said, you don't get a ton of money from the government. That's for darn sure.
No.
And maybe you're even going to be getting less. That's always a concern.
Always a concern.
And no matter what, that's always a concern. So, yeah, just spread the word and really keep in mind check out what the Veterans Place has going on once in a while. You guys are good about updating your Facebook page and
If
your
nothing
website.
else, follow for Bob.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Walking
exact.
Bob.
Walking
He's got this
Bob.
huge following. And, I trend the Facebook. And the days that the videos are put, Valerie talked
Yes.
about Paul. Paul was a former resident and is very involved in volunteering in our program. And is Bob's best friend. He'll tell you that. And so he just videos Bob. And the day he posts something about Bob, it just skyrockets.
Yeah.
And then, it'll go.
Well, he's a great guy. Bob's a great guy.
He's fabulous.
Yes, he
So he's really, the community knows him.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's on Facebook, like Facebook knows him. So people follow just for Bob, which, if nothing else, you get to see Bob.
Right. Valerie says Bob is also the best. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
He is.
But thank you so much for taking the time to come down and
course.
and sit here and
Thank
and
you for having
talk
me.
with us. It's an honor. It really
Always a
is.
pleasure.
And I hope to be able to stay connected a lot more. Make sure that people know where your events are, when they're going on,
Sure.
what's going on. You do have Venmo now. We've shared that.
Yep.
Gotten that out there. So donating and helping is super easy to do. The meal train is still up, maybe towards summertime. You'll want to check that to just every, once in a while, we'll check in with you and see if that's a thing, a need.
Yeah.
And if it's a need, I'll blast it out there and
Sure.
see if we can get some help. And
Absolutely.
because that's a pretty big deal too. And it's 18 guys that are not picky. Or, I used to say
that's
20
an
guys
accurate
that are not
statement.
picky.
They're
They are
not
not
picky.
picky.
No.
They are, they're not picky. They're just extremely grateful.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. I did beans and franks one day. And they, I thought that I was bringing them prime rib. They thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Right.
I mean, I had other stuff like treats and whatever with it. But
Yeah, the
they
treats
thought it was
always
a
go. We
big
have a
deal.
woman that cooks. She bakes every week, and the treats she brings them Thursday and Friday morning they're gone.
Yeah.
So that's another way to volunteer too, like treats, snacks, because Pete makes cookies, but we don't buy any of that stuff.
Right. You buy because
healthy.
Right, and it's expensive, and so you have to buy immediate
But we try to
needs.
promote healthy eating.
Yeah, yeah. So, treats. The guys love treats.
All the treats.
Yeah.
For
so,
sure.
Well, thank you very much again for coming in,
Absolutely, Raylene.
and
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So tune in tomorrow night. The ladies will be here for 4 quarters at 5:30, and I'm just going to assume they're going to be talking everything they can possibly talk as far as March Madness goes. That's something that I definitely can't talk to you about because I know nothing. So we'll leave it to the ladies tomorrow night at 5:30.